hear me? شكرا.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm delighted to welcome you to this special presentation on behalf of Bank Nazwa, the leading and the most trusted Islamic bank in the Sultanate. My name is Tahani Al-Alawi, Deputy Manager of Sustainability and CSR at Bank Nazwa, and it's a truly pleasure to be with you today. It gives me great honor to introduce our esteemed Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Khalid Al-Kaid, who will be sharing valuable insight into our bank performance, strategic direction, and our vision for the future. With over 25 years of experience in the financial sector, he previously served as CFO before becoming the CEO of Bank Nazwa. Before we begin, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to MSX for organizing and hosting this event. This effort in bringing together investors and industry professionals play a vital role in fostering the growth and the development in Oman financial markets. However, I would like to emphasize that the content of this presentation provides general background information about Bank Nazwa. As the presentation date, it's intended as summary and may not include all relevant details. This presentation is not investment advice, nor does it take into account individual investment objectives or financial situations. We encourage investors to seek independent professional advice for making any investment decision, while Bank Nazwa has taken care to secure information from reliable references. We do not guarantee its accuracy or competency. Before we begin, I would like to kindly ask everyone to keep your questions until the end of the presentation. Feel free to ask your question in either Arabic or English. Now, please join me to welcome Mr. Khalid Al-Kaid.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to welcome all of you to Bank Nazwa's Half 1 2025 investor presentation today. We are aiming to take you through our performance in Half 1, also our strategic priorities, along with the outlook for the rest of the year. I just want to confirm the disclaimer, this information just for general purposes, and it will not consider as investment advice. Joining me today, my colleague Salim Harbi, the CFO, and Salman Kabani from Strategy and Enterprise Risk Management, along with the rest of the team joining as well. So let's start the presentation, and we will be able to do it in bilingual. So in Arabic and English, we are receiving also your question at the end of the presentation. So let's move on, please. The first slide. Here we are touching on the Islamic banking and the GCC with a regional outlook. It's very clear that the Islamic banking on the GCC continued the growth, and it's now presenting almost a quarter of the industry of the banking system in the GCC. Here in Oman, the market share of the Islamic banking already exceeded 20% of the total assets, and as per the latest statistics from the central bank, I think we are around 21% on the deposits and financing. This is actually it will give a very clear direction on the outlook of this industry. This industry, we still believe, is still an attractive industry. The growth is coming in a double digit compared to the normal or the industry in total. What's happening also in the GCC reflected in Oman, but in Oman with an accelerated growth percentage-wise, and this year on year 2% growth in the Islamic banking here in Oman. Hitting 20% is also a message, and it's opportunity for Bank Nazwa to utilize the potential growth and increase the market share as well. So this is on the Islamic banking in the GCC. Moving ahead to the next slide, please. Here we talk about the macroeconomic context. I think in spite of the fact that the uncertainty during half one at a global level, it went through different dimensions, but I think here in Oman, the economy continue to show a more of resilient. The GDP growth is positive, around 2.5%. Inflation ratio is still in control at a lower record at 0.6%, supported by the prudent fiscal management and active debt reduction. I think that was already reflected in the latest upgrade of the sovereign rating by Moody's. Also, Bank Nizwa is enjoying this, and we are now at par with the sovereign rating, Baa3. With that, I think this macroeconomy outlook supported Bank Nizwa to continue gaining the benefit in order to achieve our ambitious plan for the rest of the period and the coming years as well. So the outlook, it's as usual at Bank Nizwa, we are seeing this as a positive outlook at a macro level, and a positive outlook at Islamic banking industry in GCC as well as in Oman. So all the indicators are supporting the way forward for Bank Nizwa strategically to achieve our targets, inshallah. Moving ahead also, now we'll talk about Bank Nizwa in particular and the journey of growth of Bank Nizwa. Touching on the latest half one results, which already disclosed, I think it's shown that we have very positive indicators when it comes into profitability. Year-on-year growth at a 15%, the highest. We continue our sustainable growth on the major components of the balance sheet, which is the financing and the deposits, with 13% growth in the financing and higher growth percentage on the deposits, because we focused on the stability of the financial position and the funding structure, reducing the AD ratio to an acceptable level. Plus, we are continuing our focus strategically on sustainable finance framework already launched, and we already issued the second edition of our sustainability report this year. With that, I think we have a very strong balance sheet and financial position at Bank Nizwa, supported, if you see the trend since the inception till today. We continued our resilience and build a strong financial position from funding structure perspective to capital management as well, maintaining the growth in the balance sheet and the reflection on the income statement to deliver value to our shareholders. And this was actually reflected by the credit rating by Moody's, where Bank Nizwa now on par with our peers here in Oman, and along with the sovereign rating at Baa3. Going forward to have some financial indicators, key financials for Bank Nizwa, trend-wise, horizontal, seeing the compound growth year-on-year. I think on the total assets, we almost at 1.9 billion Riyal Omani, and we are very close to touch the 2 billion of total assets balance sheet size. This is also a milestone for Bank Nizwa, moving from 150 million in 2013 to 2 billion total assets in half one, on almost 2025. This is a good indicator on the stability, resilience, and the opportunity to grow. And the acceptances of this industry, as we mentioned, it's still an attractive industry, reflected also in the total equity, 12% growth from internal growth from 2063 to 26.6. We still have the rest of the year to add to this as part of our capital management. On the main drivers of the balance sheet, which is the customer's balance sheet, it's the deposits and the financing. Also, the growth is showing a double-digit growth on both sides, the compound year-on-year. So we still have appetite to grow and to take opportunities in both businesses, in the wholesale banking side as well as on the retail side. And also the funding structure and the deposit is also supported by the two businesses, which actually support the growth of the bank. Also, when it comes into the income statement indicators, the total operating income showing also a very positive growth at double digit, almost compound growth is 16%. Net profit last year we closed 18. This year we are closing at 9 million. So also another double digit growth with sustainability. Tier 1 capital is still at an acceptable level. CAR also at 14.5 ahead of the minimum. There is a plan for our capital to meet the growth, the expected growth in the local market. We already announced this. The non-performing ratio even is increased from last year due to our conservative risk management, prudent management on the credit side. However, it's still at an acceptable level, showing the lowest level in the industry so far, supported by the coverage and the other elements, with the focus on the asset quality being the first priority at Bank Nizwa level. In our priorities, we actually maintain the asset quality as the first priority for us in all the decisions which we are making on a daily, technical or strategically. With that, the indicators on the return on asset, it's more than 1%, and also return on equity, it's at 7%, with an expectation, inshallah, to utilize it better, take it to the second stage, and being in a competitive comparison with the other peers in the industry. So we can conclude our financial position with a sustainable growth year on year, if you can see the trend. Also, there is a robust profitability year on year supported coming from the core businesses of the bank. The balance sheet management also is something on the liquidity management, on the credit and other parts of the capital management is all going, coming with strong results actually in the financial position reflected on the rating. Plus the capital base is still one of the strongest elements to support the balance sheet and the growth of the bank. So with that, we are continuing our organic growth in the industry, and we still believe there are a lot of opportunities where we can take. On the balance sheet, actually, I think the main drivers will continue to be the core businesses on the financing and on the deposits is just reflected what we mentioned in the previous slide. So we can move ahead to the next slide. Islamic banking sector in Oman, the summary here, as we mentioned earlier, 20% market share in less than 13 to 14 years is something very positive, showing the reputation, the acceptance, the awareness of this industry being attractive. The growth is higher than the normal industry on the banking sector, so there is still a potential for growth, and this will come from different angles, from the corporate side, from the retail side, as well as the treasury and investments. With that, we are seeing Bank Nizwa market share on the assets, on the financing and deposits stayed around 4%. However, on the Islamic banking being at 21-22%, Bank Nizwa is holding around 24 to 25% of the market share, being the leader on this industry here in Oman. And we are expecting this to continue because there are a lot of opportunities in the coming period to continue the growth and the leading of this industry. If we move ahead, this is also another reflection showing the financing and deposits. Omani banking sector overall, then the Islamic and Bank Nizwa in particular. This is just a reflection of the previous slide and the market share in the financing and deposits in Bank Nizwa at total banking sector 5%, along with the Islamic portion, also how much we are gaining from that. Moving ahead, here we are talking about the sustainable strategy of Bank Nizwa, using a balanced approach versus all the stakeholders, not only the shareholders, and we are trying to deliver value to all stakeholders, being our people, the main driver of the growth or sustainable growth of the bank. We have actually dedicated efforts toward our team to be developed. As part of our KPIs and balance scorecard is learning and development. So we are listing some types of support which we are doing on a daily basis. Same apply to our customers because we are gaining the trust and the value from our customers. So we are dedicated to provide them with whatever needed using the technology as well, and try to bring to be transparent and to show an example of the ethical banking, being an Islamic bank here in Oman. With the community from day one, we are committed to our community, and we will continue the support in different angles. And for our shareholders, we will continue generate value to our shareholders through delivering value to them. We have a lot of initiatives happened here on the capital, and due to the trust of our shareholders, they continue to support the bank in our capital injection, and we will, inshallah, continue delivering value to our shareholders as per the expectation. If we move ahead now more into the business performance, going into detail segment-wise and business-wise, I think at Bank Nizwa, the main drivers of the performance is wholesale banking and retail. This year, we decided to spin off the wholesale banking into the corporate commercial banking and the treasury and investment and international banking, because we believe there are a lot of opportunities. We need to focus more into the treasury, investment, and international business, focusing on a non-funded advisory trade finance, because we believe this area will bring more value to the bank, will support the capital utilization, and will enhance the profitability and the diversification of the earning quality of the bank. But at a wholesale banking with a portfolio almost 1 billion riyal Omani, I think we are leading on the Islamic banking with a big appetite to accept large size tickets. Our focus on the public-private partnership will continue. We aligned our strategic focus sector-wise with the Oman Vision 2040 priority sectors. They are already reflected. Also, we appreciate the central bank support in this regard with the latest regulation coming into to support the focus sectors through allocating lower risk-weighted assets to the targeted sectors, which already reflected in our strategy. We strongly believe the near future going more into sukuk, advisory, and sustainable finance. There are a lot to happen in this area while we've been talking about this for some time, but reality, there's still opportunity actually to bring this into the market, and the Islamic banks, windows they can support on this as well. So more of the products will be specific focus onto trade finance. We'll try to get into the international business. We announced already we are going to open a branch in the IFC, and I think this will open a new era for Bank Nizwa and the Islamic banking here in Oman to support the treasury and international business using the Sharia compliant instruments. This is on the corporate commercial banking side. On the retail side also, we are focusing on digitalization, bringing new experience to our customers through the digitalization. And we've been more segment focused, focusing on the wealth management as well as the mass, but we are focusing more on the women in the youth sector. So we'll continue this segment focus. As well as the digitalization, we are using retail as the way to the bank by utilizing the benefit of the CASA through supporting the funding strategy of the bank. When it comes into treasury and investment, as I mentioned earlier, there are a focus now, and we have a strategy to bring more value to the bank and to the Islamic banking industry here in Oman through the treasury and investment and international business. Moving ahead, this is the industry sector concentration. I think Bank Nizwa simply is well diversified among the sectors. You can see oil and gas 10%, 7% to construction, manufacturing, real estate at 5%, personal 33%, and others. So this is part of our risk appetite and allocation, and it's shown a safe allocation among all sectors. Moving ahead, this is in the non-performing assets. As we mentioned, at Bank Nizwa, we identified the priorities for the last 8 years, and we continued the same focus. Asset quality is the first priority to us, and is reflected on the type of how we manage the credit risk at the balance sheet side. the management of the non-performing, we have a very prudent risk management procedures within the bank, and we continued this procedure as we go. Here you can see figures related to the non-performing between the personal financing and the corporate side. Compared last year to this year, the total amount, the performing and non-performing, increased from 39 to 56. This is a normal process happening due to the developments on the portfolio, but also it's supported by the procedures which we are putting in the underwriting and the credit control, along with the coverage on the ECL build-up according to our procedure within the bank, which is still in control at an acceptable level. And more efforts will be on this side to ensure that we will continue the asset quality in control and as one of our top priority as we go. Also, we move, this is industry-wide, industry sector distribution, construction, performing versus non-performing, almost 11 million, percentage was 10% on the construction, and this is a reflection actually. If you see it at industry-wise, it's not that far away from what you are seeing here, and in personal finance on the lower side. So this is just the highlights, and we have others around 43 in different sectors. This is just also another illustration about the distribution of the performing, non-performing sector-wise, and the percentage of non-performing and ECL, and the impairment losses for the performing financing accordingly. This is as per June 2025. Moving ahead to the other the way to the bank, our presence, digital and physical. As you see, we have branches, 22 branches. We have one digital branch. However, the way to the bank, it's going through different e-channels way. And we are focusing more now to have easy access to the bank through the way to the bank, including the website and the other channels. So this is what we have currently, the way to the bank. Sustainable banking is something, it's one pillar of our strategy. We have a focused sectors like food, agriculture, green energy, education, technology. And we will continue actually our transparency and governance, being we are representing the ethical banking. There will be a focus on specific segments, as we mentioned, in women, youth, SMEs will continue. We are trying to innovate more in this industry, and will be representing the responsible banking here in the Sultanate of Oman, inshallah. This is just part of the recognition of Bank Nizwa and awards during the period. And inshallah, we will continue our efforts on this regard, representing the banking, the Islamic banking industry in Oman as a leader of the and champion, national champion of this industry. As we mentioned earlier, our people are main driver of the value of the bank, and this is why we have specific plans and strategic initiatives to support them. And this is just a list of some initiatives which we are offering to our people at the bank. Community, as we mentioned earlier, from day one, we are committed, and we are enhancing the support as we go with our appetite and our ability. So we'll continue the support at different angles, and this will, inshallah, will increase the value which we are contributing to the community as we go and as we grow. Now, as strategy 2025, as you're aware, all banks now, they are at the point of time, they are preparing for the coming strategy phase of 3 to 5 years. Bank Nizwa is one of that. However, currently we have our high 5 strategies, strategy which actually going through the gaining more of the market share and solidify our leadership position in the market, continue our strong financial performance, using the technology to enhance the way we are doing banking, looking for sustainability in all different angles, and we are trying to be a progressive organization as we go, continue the developments and improvements day after day, enhancing the efficiency and enhancing the way we are doing banking. So we are continuing with this. Our strength, not limited to, but it's related to our people. We have disciplined credit and investment decision. We are highly focused on this, also in the compliance, zero tolerance on the compliance side. Now we are going to be more segment-focused business, and we keep the capital base solid to support the growth as we go and maintain the actually safety of the bank on the journey. I'll end here, and I'd like to thank you for your good listening through the quick presentation. And now we are happy to receive any question or inquiries from your side. We'll be able, inshallah, if we are able to answer, we will answer, inshallah. Please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khalid, for those valuable insight and your inspiring outlook for the future of the bank Nazwa. Now we would like to open the floor for your question. Once again, please feel free to ask in Arabic or English. Yes, Mr. Faisal Habib.
عليكم ورحمة الله. تسمعوني؟
وعليكم السلام. نعم, أخ فيصل.
I'll ask my question in English. I was wondering about your NPL. Your non-performing loans, like you said in your presentation, have increased this quarter. And obviously with that, your provision ratio, your coverage ratio, has gone down. So should we expect similar non-performing loans? And if so, should we expect the coverage ratio to stay at what it was this quarter or go back to the higher levels it was the previous quarter and last year?
Yes, thank you. I may ask my colleague Salman if he can attend to this question.
Yes. Thank you for this question. The NPL ratio has slightly increased this period, but the coverage has dropped. The reason being, Islamic banks, we have assets, always underlying assets. So on the coverage, those assets are not accounted. These are only cash reserves. So from the security standpoint, those assets, if we account, it will go, the ratio will improve. But over the period, the bank strategy remains prudent to build reserve. And end of this year, this ratio will also improve. Our non-performing ratio remain low on the industry side. And the bank is also following a prudent approach. You have noticed that there is a slight moderation on the financing side, where the bank cherry picking good credit and letting go those deals which are not in favor of the bank. As a result, this ratio in the gross financing side, we improve our growth, but as we go along, there are certain large transactions which bank is in the pipeline. If those are books, this ratio will further improve.
Thank you.
Any other question?
No, thank you. That's all from me. Mashkourin. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ladies and gentlemen, any other question? Shall we conclude, Mr. Khalid?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you all for your active participation and engaging question for Mr. Faisal. This concludes our session. We truly appreciate your time and interest in Bank Nazwa journey and future. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you all again in a future engagement. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. شكرا.
يعطيك العافية أبو كريم.
Thank you.
السلام عليكم. يعطيكم العافية. السلام عليكم.